Welcome back to another exciting episode of Four Wolves Takes, where your boy Artis Woods will bring you four fresh Minnesota Timberwolves takes. Like usual, y'all already know it's an honor and a privilege to be in front of you all today on this lovely Wednesday, right before the Timberwolves get ready to play the Denver Nuggets. Again, welcome back to another exciting episode of Four Wolves Takes. I got four fresh takes for you all today. I'm letting y'all know right now. I know what I've said about expectations. I know what I've said about my thoughts and about how, I've pulled back on what I believe the Wolves can do this season. And I've kind of put them in a certain box where I'm like, I'm not going to get my hopes too high, but I'm not going to lie. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid again. I'm not going to lie. Y'all see the thumbnail, right? Y'all going to see these takes. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. If you're not drinking the Kool-Aid, this is not the time to watch Four Wolves Takes. My last episode, I talked about the future. This episode, I'm talking more so about the right now. How I'm feeling about the Wolves right now. First take of the day. Let's get it out of the way. Yes, I am back on this train. I think the Wolves can go back to the Western Conference Finals. Yes, I said it. Now, I know initially before the season started, like I said I think the Wolves can go to the finals. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe the Wolves can just, maybe be a play-in team, maybe get out of the first round. But watching the Wolves lately, right? Watching the rest of the Western Conference, I've been like, you know what? I think this team has the potential to do exactly what it did last year. Now, I'm not willing to go out on a limb and say they'll do more than what they did last year. And granted, I get it, right? Last 5 games, you played teams that are not very good. You played Phoenix, you played the 76ers, you played the Hornets, the Heat, and you played the Spurs. I get it. You haven't played sensational competition. You haven't played a bunch of teams that are going to make the playoffs, a bunch of teams that are in contention for a championship. I understand that. I get that. But I'm talking eye test. I'm talking about what my eyes tell me. My eyes tell me that this team has a lot more chemistry. They have a lot more camaraderie. My eyes tell me that they figured the rotation out, right? My eyes tell me that they are starting to trust the young guys, right? The Wolves are healthy on a 5-game win streak. Now, obviously, big time test tonight. Nobody's denying that it is a big time test tonight against the Denver Nuggets. I think it'll say a lot. But even if they lose tonight, I'm not jumping off of the train of what I think this team can accomplish. When I look at the rest of the conference, there are 2 teams that make you a little bit nervous, and it's only because of their veteran experience. You got the Lakers, at least for me. You got the Lakers and you got the Warriors. People have already talked about these teams. You got LeBron on one side, right? You got Luka, and then on the other side, of course, you have Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green. You have the experience, the veteran leadership of those guys over there, right? But the Wolves have size advantages over both of those teams. The Lakers do not have Anthony Davis anymore. And the Warriors have never really had size. And the Warriors, specifically, that's the matchup that Anthony Edwards has wanted for a while now in the postseason. I mean, he's been calling out Draymond. He's been saying he wants that matchup for a while in the postseason. So, while I'm not going to sit up here and say, like I said, the Wolves, they're just going to run through the West and they're going to beat anybody and everybody. What I am saying is, in any matchup they get in the conference, you can go into the matchup fairly confident. That's how I'm feeling. I'm saying it. You can go into these matchups feeling pretty confident. The Thunder is a team you've shown you can compete with and beat. The Nuggets, again, we're about to see them tonight. I think you can beat the Nuggets in a 7-game series. You got them last year. I know this team is different. But I still believe you could beat Denver. I don't think Denver is as good as they was last year. That's just me. Eye test wise. I already talked about the Lakers. The Grizz, ain't they cool? The Rockets, they cool. The Clippers, are they gonna make it? I think the Wolves have the potential to get it done, to get back to where they were last year. Now, like I said, I'm not going to say they're going to go to the finals, but given how they've played, given their health, given what I see, right, and the superstar that is Anthony Edwards, when he's on his game, we all know he ramps it up to another notch in the postseason. I think they have the potential. It's not like this conference is loaded with a bunch of teams that's like, ugh, they could lose to this team. The West is not loaded, in my opinion. Everybody, it just feels like the West, everybody's in the same kind of tier. That's what it feels like to me. Like, yeah, you have teams that are record-wise better than other teams, but it just feels like most of the West is within that same tier. Anybody could beat anybody. There's not a single upset in the West I could see happening that would shock me. I mean, you let me know in the comment section what upset in the West you could see that would shock you. Oh my gosh, I can't believe Denver lost in the first round. The Rockets lost in the first round. The Grizzlies didn't make it to the conference finals. Like, wouldn't be shocking. So that's just how I feel. Take number 2. It's all about Julius Randle. It's all about Julius Randle. We know what the numbers are looking like. The boy going out here recently looking like he want to put up a triple-double, right? The man is facilitating at an extremely high level. At an extremely high level. Last few games, we got 25 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists, 13 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists, 14 points, 7 rebounds, 10 assists. The game against Philadelphia, 16, 8, and 5. The game against Phoenix, 26 and 3. This is the version of Julius Randle that you want to see for the Wolves. The Wolves need a guy that's going to play make. It has been my issue with the team dating back to last year. You need another playmaker outside of Anthony Edwards to take pressure off Anthony Edwards as a scorer. Not only do I believe the depth of the Wolves has helped with that, but I also believe Julius Randle, who I'll admit, I believe I was wrong about Julius Randle. And I've been up and down in my takes as far as Julius Randle is concerned. When he first got to the team, again, I said NBA Finals. I think you can make it happen. This guy is a perennial all-star caliber player, right? He has upside of a superstar when he's really locked in on his game. He has his moments, right? But for the most part, he's a darn good player. And then halfway through the season, I'm like, man, I'd rather see Naz Reid start. And I still, to an extent, feel that way because Naz Reid is Naz Reid, and I believe he's the future of the team. But I cannot deny the fact that with Julius Randle back in the lineup, and with the lineup being what it was to start the season, you know, Mike Conley, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Julius Randle, and Rudy Gobert, with the lineup going back to how it was looking earlier this season, that a lineup I complained about quite a bit, healthy now, they back playing well. And Julius Randle, again, is moving the basketball. One complaint I had about Julius Randle, it just felt like they didn't know how to play with Julius Randle. And Julius Randle didn't necessarily know how to play with the Wolves, at least early in the season, which is expected. Even halfway through the season, it's kind of expected, but it was frustrating to watch. It was times where Julius Randle would kind of be a ball stopper in a way. You get the ball, everybody stands in their spots on the floor, and everybody just sitting, just watching. Everybody just watching. And Julius Randle, ISO, top of the key, drive to the paint. Or Julius Randle get the ball on the block. Everybody move out the way. It's time for Julius Randle to go get a bucket. But that's not the type of basketball that we're seeing out of Julius Randle now. Julius Randle is getting the ball, you know, sometimes at the top of the key, sometimes on a block. And he's a willing passer. Guys are moving without the basketball. It's not even about backdoor cuts and things of that nature. Guys are just relocating. Guys are just moving to open spots on the floor, and he's making the right play. I firmly believe that sometimes it helps athletes to sit out for a period of time. You get to see how the team runs without you. You get to see a bit more of the team's strengths and weaknesses. You get to see a bit more of this guy can do this. This guy can do that. This guy is not great at this, but he's really good at this. You sit back and you observe and you say, okay, I know how I can help this guy. I know how I can help this guy. I know how he can help me. So when you're inserted back in the lineup, you have a flow, and now he's playing the role of now I'm looking to fit in instead of stand out. And I really think that's the approach he's taking. Like, I don't have to go out here and put up 30 points, 25 points. If I need to, I'll do it. But really right now, the team needs me to be a facilitator. The team needs me to rebound, score if necessary. But most importantly, the team needs me to be a facilitator. So if y'all going to double team, I'm going to hit my guys for open shots. I'm going to make the necessary plays to get my guys open looks. I'm going to do whatever it takes to win. This is the version of Julius Randle. If you could get this version of Julius Randle in the playoffs, man, hey, again, all bets are off. All bets are off, right? Because at some point, you pay extra attention to the guys surrounding Julius Randle. Now Julius Randle got one-on-one matchups. He's not being double teamed and things of that nature. And now he's a scorer. And the way Julius Randle plays, when he has it going, he is tough to stop offensively. But the most important thing, like I said before, is that when he touches the ball, everybody still expects to get the ball. And that's the most important. Guys are moving because we might still get the ball. It's not for lack of a better phrase, it is not a dead play when Julius Randle gets the ball. I don't have to sit there and be like, all right, we know what Julius is going to do. He's going to go do his thing, score. Let's get back on defense. No, we're still moving because we might still get an open look. We might still get an open shot. It took some time. And again, I'll be the first to admit, I was up and down. I'm like, look, man, I'm getting tired of seeing it. You know what I mean? But now we are starting to see that chemistry develop. I feel like it's there. It's coming on at the perfect time. At the perfect time. And I love what I'm seeing from Julius Randle, man. If he could keep this up, 9 assists, 10 assists, 8 assists, if he could keep this up, I can't wait to see what he looks like tonight against Denver. I can't wait to see what he looks like tonight against Denver. Take number 3. This is more so about the playoffs. I believe the Wolves' depth should be trusted in the playoffs. Now, I understand. I get it. I fully understand, right? That in the playoffs, most teams, you're going to go like 7-8 deep. You're not going to play everybody that you played in the regular season, right? Like, that just doesn't happen. But I believe you have at least 10 guys on this roster that you can trust to put in playoff games from time to time, even if it's for short spurts. Obviously, you have Jaden McDaniels, you have Julius Randle, you have Rudy Gobert, you have Anthony Edwards, you have Mike Conley, you have Dante DiVincenzo, you have Naz Reid, you have Naw, you have Jalen Clark, in my opinion, you have Terrence Shannon Jr., and I'm still a big Rob Dillingham guy. I know that he hasn't been getting a lot of playing time recently. I'm still a big Rob Dillingham guy. But we could cut it off at Terrence Shannon Jr. We cut it off there. Now, the obvious ones are the guys I mentioned before I mentioned the younger guys from, Jalen Clark and Terrence Shannon Jr., Rob Dillingham. The obvious guys I already mentioned. But we've seen big time moments from Jalen Clark. We've seen Terrence Shannon Jr., when given an opportunity, given more playing time, him have big time games, big time impact on offense. So, like I said, I'm not saying that these guys got to be utilized like crazy in the playoffs. I understand, man. I understand it's the playoffs. You want your vets out there as much as possible, right? But every now and then, man, the way Clark is playing, man, throw him out there here and there for some defensive possessions, for short spurts. He's gonna come out. He's gonna get the energy. He's gonna get the steals. He's gonna hit corner shots. You know what I'm saying? Top of the key shots. Like, I love Jalen Clark's game. Whatever you need out of him, you're gonna get, man. He's like, he does all of the dirty work and can also score. Like, I love what I see out of him. And y'all already know how I feel about Terrence Shannon Jr. Y'all already know how I feel about him. I believe he's a guy offensively that could do some of everything. So I feel like in the playoffs, there are moments where you need sparks. And I need Coach Finch to be bold at times. Again, you ain't got to throw him out there for 20 minutes. You ain't got to throw him out there for 15 minutes before everybody in the comment section be like, well, then how you going to make room for and does it even chisel? I'm not saying you put him out there for the whole game, y'all. But what I am saying is they have shown you, at least in my opinion, they have shown you that in spurts, they can be formidable. And you might need that in the postseason. Hey, man, we coming out. We playing a little flat. Let me throw TSJ out there for a moment. Just for a moment. See what you can do. Let me throw a clock out there. See if I can get a couple steals, get a couple extra possessions. You know what I'm saying? Infuse some energy back into the basketball team. And again, I'm not out on Rob Dillingham. I'm just not. Y'all know how I feel about Rob. I'm not going to go down that tangent. But if Mike is not playing well, which Mike has been playing a lot better lately. But if he needs a moment, hey, Rob, I might give you a moment out here. That's just me. I think you should use your depth in the playoffs. Pick your spots, use your depth. We have seen time and time again, last year in playoffs, we saw Anthony Edwards exhausted at times, gassed at times. Hey, man, Clark, get in there. Go make some plays. TSJ, go get in there and make some plays. Like, give him some rest so that he's fresh for the fourth quarter, fresh for money time. That's my opinion. And last take of the day, man, I feel like all of my takes have been very positive. All of my takes have been very uplifting. But Anthony Edwards is one of my favorite players in the league. It's been a little bit, so I gotta talk about it. My boy, when it comes to these referees, man, Ant needs to leave the refs alone, bro. Every single game that we watch Anthony Edwards play, it feels like almost every moment he's attacking the basket and getting a little bit of contact, he's screaming at the referees to call a foul. And I will admit, at times, I am like, yo, you got to call that, ref. But there are also times where it's like, Ant, man, we can't do this every single game, every single moment. I spoke on this last year. I tried to get ahead of this last year. If y'all, fans of Four Wolves takes, y'all know I mentioned this last year. I said, Ant, you don't want to be known as a guy in the league that is always on the officials' backs. You don't want to be talked about in the light of just throwing some names out here, a Draymond Green or Rasheed Wallace and guys like that. Not saying that he gonna be out there fighting like those guys and borderline being dirty. And I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is referees are human. And I feel like once you're kind of labeled as that guy, they look for reasons to tee you up. The slightest thing, they might tee you up. And you only got a few of those. I believe it's 6 or 7 in the playoffs before they suspend you for playoff games. And I know that sounds like a big number, but Anthony Edwards got 16 now? And he had to miss that game against Utah after getting booted out of the game against LA. He can rack them up. Anthony Edwards can rack up those T's. He can rack up those texts. And these referees are not shying away from calling them. I like to think that in the playoffs, they won't call it as much. You understand tensions are high, right? It's the postseason. Get your calls right. I'm also in the camp of, man, players shouldn't be the only ones, suffering consequences, for bad officiating. All the technical fouls you get, all of the fines you get. I firmly believe sometimes these referees should be getting fined and things of that nature. Obviously not at the level that players get fined because referees don't make as much, but I'm just saying, man, they need to suffer some kind of consequences too when they make bad calls and they miss things of that. It just feel like they don't get nothing and the players got to just deal with it. These calls, they cost you games. These calls, they cost you money. And then they want you to go on these press conferences and not say nothing. Listen, I get it. I understand Anthony Edwards' frustration. But at the same time, we got to reel that in. To an extent, got to reel it in. And play the game within the game. Play the game within the game. Good call, ref. Every now and then, good call. Forget that. Good call. Even if it was a bad one, a good call. Just, they're human at the end of the day, man. If I tell you good call 2-3 times and then you make a bad call and I kind of get on you about it, you might not call that take on me. You might let me push it a little bit because we've been having some good back and forth throughout the game. Relationship kind of brewing throughout the game. So maybe you give me a little grace. But if I'm on you all game, nonstop, hey, you might call it and boot me from a game. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. But listen, y'all. I know what I said before as I wrap up the show. I'm back high on the Wolves. I know some of y'all in the comments gonna call me crazy. I know one comment, they tell me I only show up when the Wolves lose. I'm like, bruh, what are we doing? 5-game win streak. I'm here. Now, if they lose tonight, hey, I was here for the 5-game win streak. All right, I was here for that. You know what I mean? But all in all, man, like usual, I appreciate y'all for tuning in to this week's episode of Four Wolves Takes with your boy. I will catch y'all on the next episode.